Hello everyone, I am back to producing YouTube videos on consulting. For those of you who are wondering where was I for more than a year, let me give you a brief. Number one, I moved from India to Canada. Yes, I made that big bold move. An initial few months, I spent more time in settling in and at the same time enjoying Canada. Then earlier this year, my dad wasn't well. I went back to India to be with him, and he later passed away. And many more things are happening in my life right now, too. But one thing hasn't changed, and that is I am still in consulting. And today I'm going to talk about what is a value chain. It's a different offbeat topic, but I thought I'll start with this because I realize many people struggle in building a value chain slide. And when I started my consulting journey and I built my first value chain slide, it was a simple chain where I said from raw material to final product. And that was just a chain. I didn't talk about the value aspect of the value chain. And therefore I said, let me start with this. And what it will talk about is three basic prerequisites on a value chain slide. Just three. But before that, let me explain what value chain means.
What is a value chain? Value chain has two words. One is value, which is an adjective. The other is chain, which is a noun. Let's explain what the noun chain is. Consider a mobile manufacturing chain. Okay, so this is the end product here, mobile phone. Now, mobile phone will have components, right? It will have an electronic chip which will give it all the intelligence. It will have glass, plastic, and metal components like covers, etc. And there could be many more, right? So in this chain, where the end product is mobile phone, there is one more layer where you have components. These components are then assembled and a mobile phone is made. Now let's just go back in this chain and just take the example of an electronic chip, say. Okay, electronic chip. Now this electronic chip, will have many other components, say a PCB, which is a printed circuit board, right? Then it will have other components like resistors, transistors, and so on. And this will be assembled. Everything will go into this electronic chip. Like everything here will go into the mobile phone. These components will go here. And again, if you go back, from here, like say if you take a transistor, the transistor will consist of a semiconductor, and the semiconductor which then goes into different components. then the transistor, and okay, each component like the resistor will have metallic parts to it. Semiconductor, for converting the semiconductor to a transistor is a value addition, right? Or maybe I'll use a different color here. It's a value addition. So from A to B, or I can call it perhaps from A to Z, there are various components, and in each step there is a value addition. There is a value addition here. Let me call it VA. From here to here, again there is a VA. Again there is a VA. So in each part of the chain there is a value addition, and therefore the name value chain. Wow. Let me improve my handwriting. Therefore, it is called a value chain, right? So just coming back to it, what is a value chain? Two components, value and chain. We explain, one is a noun, one is an adjective. So first let's explain the chain, which is from semiconductor, and maybe here, you'll have glass, etc. It goes on to become different components, and at each step of the chain there is a value addition, and therefore you call it a value chain. Now that you know what the term value chain is, how do we represent it in the simplest form? What are the basic components of a value chain? I'm taking again an example of the value chain of a mobile manufacturing, say. Then here, what are the products involved? If you're making, say, glass, which is the front part of a mobile phone, you would say there are components involved. There is silica involved to make the glass. So you list down the products that are involved in making that component B. The second is how. How is that done? What is the value addition done in that process from A to B? And this would vary by component to component. Like glass, there would be a different value addition. Then if you're making an electronic chip, there would be a different value addition. But you explain the how part in the second step. The third is who. Who are the entities involved in making? When it comes to glass, right? Many players are involved in the value chain manufacturing. So who are the entities involved in A to B? There are some entities like E2 here who's involved from A to C. E3 which is involved in step B to C and B to D. And there could be entities that are involved right from A to D. So we need to explain who are the entities involved. So I love this basic value chain layout where we talk about what, how, and who.